Hi guys, welcome to this edition of Phyrefli's Video Digest. As always, thank you for watching. Now this edition of the Digest is purely taken up with an interview with Jeff from Phogue.net. Now in case you don't know Jeff or Phogue, you've almost definitely run into the software that he developed, which is Procon. Procon is an Archon tool that's been used for Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2. In fact, it was also used for Frontlines and Homefront as well. To give you an idea of the popularity of this tool, when Battlefield 3 first came out, there were approximately 30,000 users, and about 70% of Battlefield 3 servers that were using an Archon tool were using Procon. Now Jeff's going to be bringing out Procon 2 in, hopefully, the not too distant future, so a lot of this interview revolves around that new piece of software and some of the requirements that he needs for it. For example, they're desperately looking for a UI designer, someone who can take their engineering work and put it into a usable interface. And the second thing that they're looking for is a web designer for their new website, which is myarchon.com. Now within this video this week, you'll see a short in-game demo of some of the things that Procon 2 can do, so please make sure that you're watching. The rest of the video though is taken up by round 6 of last weekend's Tour of Duty from Battlefield3Tournament.com. Now this is one of my favourite videos, not simply because our squad had all 4 top slots on our side, but because with this game we won the inaugural Tour of Duty in Battlefield 3 at Battlefield3Tournament.com. One other thing that you may notice if you're watching this video is that I act like a freaking knife magnet. Normally out of all 6 rounds in a weekend I'm knifed once, maybe twice. This time over all 6 rounds I was knifed something like 10 times. So I think the guys on the other team have got it in their heads that they can get a little bit of immortality if they manage to knife me. And yes, they definitely did their best. So enjoy the gameplay video. As I say, it's something that I've cherished very much, and kudos to the Eagles for a great Tour of Duty. As far as the interview with Phogue is concerned, if you're interested in the UI developer designer position, or you want to help them out with their new website, get in direct contact with them and let them know your interest. As always, thanks again for watching. If you do sub, I always make sure that anyone who subs, I check out their channel and sub back if you've got good videos. Every single comment that I read, I take a note of, and yes, those people who've commented on the competitive scene in North America, I'll be looking into that for the next edition of the Digest. So as always, have fun, enjoy, take care.
Functionally, it's done exactly like it was in March. We're just sort of still waiting for the UI, but every month we're sort of learning stuff and going back and having a look at it, and we're both telling each other that we're doing stuff wrong and doing things in a different way. So I kind of want to scrap a whole bunch of code and go back and do that again.
Yeah, I put my hands in the core, and Jeff here just went on a craziness.
I still stand by my inspiring you to do better things speech. How quickly can we get a UI design? That's that's pretty much it. But at the moment, I've got no third-party projects or anything like that, so I'm sort of, that's why we're getting the big excitement about Procon 2, because I've got time to work on it now. The layer also works a lot better this time around. It's not per connection, but instead you connect to an instance of Procon, and then you can control that and set up your servers and all that sort of stuff, so you don't have to go through you know, like a weird panel editing text documents and all that sort of stuff. I'm trying to make the Procon 2 like, as simple as possible, so you just load it up and it works with no faffing about.
Just one button on the entire thing. You click it and it does exactly what you want it to.
Yeah. At the moment, GSPs have to open up either a block of ports to allow for all different servers, because each server is essentially running its own daemon at the moment, and they can't really talk to each other. And they have their own plugins, and to an extent, they also have their own accounts. Like they at least they have their own permissions per layer. It's really a pain in the ass. Like if you've got 2 or 3 servers, you've got to set the same thing up over and over again. So at least in Procon 2, you have one port open for your layer, you connect to that, and then you can add all of your game connections. And furthermore, your accounts and everything are set up on that one connection, on that one layer as well. So they apply to all game connections that you put in. So if your server, if your say, if your group buys another server, all they've got to do is add this connection, and that's it. Your accounts are transferred over. Everything's hunky-dory and sweet. You connect once, and then you just add connections. No, no going through a config and setting up a layer and then connecting to that one, and then having to set up all your permissions for each admin on that one, on that connection. Well, that's vaguely what Karen and I were talking about just before you came in, was getting, say if we go through a design crowd, they're mostly dealing with web pages and stuff. So if we get a web UI done, or at least in the form of a web page, we can just copy that over to a web UI in the future date. But also the Procon 2 has been designed so the protocol that it uses, because it doesn't actually tag on to any other game protocol, or at least for its layer, it will allow much better sort of adding third-party programs that can just connect to the Procon layer a lot easier. So, for instance, making an iPhone app will be a lot easier. Making a web UI will be a lot easier because it's all using the JSON protocol. So we'll have something like that where you connect to it and then you're just passing it commands back and forth in a sort of industry standard way. So making a web UI won't be a huge stretch. Nah, they'll have to be redone. They
Yeah,
It follows a similar format, though. I mean, it'd probably take maybe 2 or 3 days, you think?
Oh yeah, they're really simple in Procon 2. I've designed it from the ground up to allow for changes to anything that I make. In the beginning, for instance, Procon 1 plugins at the moment, they could probably still almost run on the original Procon that was released, the original beta that I put out. And at the time I said, oh, this is subject to change, and don't make sure you don't rely too much on this. And yeah, all of a sudden it got popular, and I had to stick with the exact same API. It was horrible. Hopefully, in the end, we'll support every game. Like, it's already got rudimentary stuff in there to handle basics of Call of Duty when I was interested in Call of Duty, and that other game, the Team Fortress 2 game, because Cameron was nagging me saying that Bad Company 2 was boring and he wanted to test it on his client server, so I went and put in Team Fortress 2 support for it.
Yay.
So, I mean, they're already there. They need to be fleshed out, but they're there, and everything supports it at the moment, and I hope to put every game in there eventually. So you've got every game support eventually. You've got the natural language parser, which is tied to everything. You've got the single layer, so you connect once and then you can set up connections, not edit stuff through your GSP and have a right confusing time of it. You will eventually have a snazzy UI that doesn't take up like 400 megabytes.
Something I don't think we've mentioned yet, though, about the UI is that we're kind of doing like plugins for that as well. We're calling them extensions, though.
Really, Cameron? Tell me more, because I'm eating dinner. You talk.
So we've got similar to plugins where you just write your own little extra piece of functionality for the game based off of events that get sent back and whatnot. There have been requests for something along the lines of like right-click on a player in Procon 1 and have a menu that says view stats on BFBC2 stats. So with that in mind, we were thinking we would allow other people to extend the user interface however they felt necessary. So we had to come up with a API for that as well, and we ended up coming up with something called extensions. It's mostly still being built, but we have most of it, or I have most of it done. Not really sure what else to say. I mean, you can add little tidbits, like you could add a menu that looks up players, or you could add something.
List or something.
Did I come up with a list? I didn't come up with a list.
No, I mean, like, say if we wanted to have like all the admins highlighted in red, could we write an extension to do that in the list?
Oh yeah, that's a pretty simple one. You could write something in there to just change the background of players if they're an admin. One of the other reasons we decided to go with it, if someone doesn't like the way it looks, they can develop a theme and throw it in there. Although it's at the moment it's extremely developer friendly. It's not too user friendly, such as you don't have like a nice little panel to where you could say like, oh, this is the background image or whatever. You have to know a bit of C# to actually develop an extension, whether it be just a theme or actual functionality added into the program.
It works similar to what TeamSpeak 3's permissions work as. So first you'd set up a group, then you would assign permissions to that group, and that permission would also have a rank value on it. So I could set up a group and be assigned to it and have a value or rank of 50 to kick, and you would have a value of 25 to kick, and that would mean that I can kick you because I've got 50, you've got 25, but you wouldn't be able to kick me because I'm bigger than you. But this also means that you have groups, so we could have an administrator group or a regular player group or something like that, and you can assign people to that, and they've all got different permissions and different levels assigned to the group. I'm sort of hoping that we get a much better UI than what TeamSpeak 3 has, because yeah, that confuses me as well.
Well, on top of that, we don't have 7,000 permissions either.
Yeah, I don't know how many there are, but you know, you've got kick and say. There's only so much an Archon protocol can do, eh?
I mean, even if we only had 50, that's just 50 options, and they're quite straightforward. Because in TeamSpeak 3, you actually have some pretty vague how it works. Like ours works, you simply have kick, and you have 25 for kick, so you can kick anybody that has less than 25. So people just playing on the server have no kick, so you can kick them. But if there's an admin that's higher than you in the hierarchy, he probably has a higher kick, so you can't kick him. Whereas in TeamSpeak 3, it's horribly confusing. It's like you have kick, and then you have kick needed, and then you also have kick power or whatever that, and you have to figure out how those two relate, and it's horribly confusing. As in where ours, it's a whole lot simpler in my mind.
It's kind of impossible in Procon 1 because I made the software in 3 weeks, man, and I had to run with it, and it was crap. I hate it, in a word. But in Procon 2, everything goes through the one type of security controller, and from there, you've got to pass in that account's credentials of who is speaking. And working on that as well, when you issue a command in game, it also, if you've got an account, it'll also respond to you in whatever language you've set up as well. So there's localization for plugins, which is something we didn't mention earlier. But yes, there will be a way to audit whatever is happening on your server and whatever is affecting the server. So I mean, what you just saw me do, Paul, is just sort of give it a command and then tell it to repeat for a certain amount of time and at a certain amount of interval. So essentially, at the moment, I've only got kill and kick, but I could tell it to kill you every 10 seconds or something like that. But it's also got filtering on it, so if we ever get the ping in it, we could say kick everyone with a ping over 300 every minute, and you've got a ping kicker right there in just a line of text. So I just listed everyone with a score over 500. Now I'll see if I can do it with everyone with a score of 4,000, which should be one person. A killer chapstick dude.
Yeah, when we set out with the licensing changes, one of our main sort of things was it needs to be free for the end user, and the place where we get money is from the people who make money from us, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty much when, well, at least we'll use the same sort of model, but per game connection, we charge GSPs a little bit on top of that, whatever they're charging their users. And this way we get revenue, and this way we can have $1,000 competitions to design the next UI for Procon. So it's all kind of going in a cycle.
Like a concept art type deal for the UI, because we've got the back end working for it. We just need some way to place it all into the user's hands.
Sort of storyboard the user experience. So I mean, we're engineers, man. Like, we make stuff, but we're kind of dumb. No, at least from like I mean, I've never used my software. I've never actually used Procon. I've never had a server to, yeah, to actually manage or administrate. It's just, I just sort of write it. Ever since Frontline, it's just been something that I do.
Ah, yes. I need a web developer.
Here we go. Look alive, buddy.
We have a template, as Jeff said. We just need somebody who can fill out the template into a pretty static site so we can move off the Phogue.net site, because everybody hates having to go to a website with Jeff's name in it. So we want to move it to the MyArchon website, which is the company name.
Generally, all he does is just yell at me. So he's like, "Get this done, get that done, do this." Nope, I want it the exact opposite way. Scrap the last 4 hours of work you've done and do it differently.
It works. I push you, and you come out with great results eventually, and then I can them and do something else. Don't permanent ban people. I hate permanent bans. Just ban them for a week or so. You can't remember what they were doing. No, thanks for using my software, I suppose. I mean, I don't use it, so I'm glad someone is. You kind of work on it in your free time because you find it interesting.